Hi everybody, this is Colleen Pearl the Cool Crone, and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be very juicy and I don't want to keep you in suspense, but I do want to remind you to make sure that you're subscribed, and if you like the video, please do the thumbs up and the share thing, you know, all the YouTubey things. And I also want to remind you, or just tell you, that I'm going to be opening my new website in a couple of weeks. So when I have my new website open, you'll be able to do memberships there. Now, if you're already a member to the Cool Crone, don't worry, I'm not dropping you in any way, but I'll have a final members meeting and I'll tell everybody how to move over to the website membership, and yeah, we'll just do it like that. I'm not going to close down the YouTube memberships just yet because I want to make sure people know how to find me on my website. Okay, that's it. And now on to a juicy tarot reading. Okay, we're reading about Donald Trump's first week with Kash Patel as the FBI director. Okay, so let's take a look here. We've got the Ten of Swords crossed by the Magician. So let's look at the Ten of Swords. In this card, Ten of Swords, usually the 10 swords in the guy's back, but in this card we see that the guy is being eviscerated, or has been eviscerated. So not great for Kash, for his beginnings, but this is, I think, what Donald Trump wants him to do, and I think that that is more than what Mr. Patel wants to do, because he's crossed by the Magician. He wants to use a little finesse. He wants to actually come away from this having some kind of a, not necessarily a popular reputation where people like him. I don't think he really wants that, but he does want people to, I guess, fear or respect or be in awe of his capabilities, which I gotta tell you guys is not going to happen. And at the base of the matter, which is probably more like what's going to happen, is the Knight of Wands. So, in his sort of fear about what he needs to do, so Mr. Patel is going to just rush in wildly and do whatever the hell he can do quickly and easily, because his heart's not in what DJT is asking him to do. It's in, his heart is in running the FBI and doing a bunch of outrageous things and changing everything. But remember that he's got all these employees that like don't know what's going on with their employment, and they're suing and everything like that. So he doesn't have a fully on-board workforce that's really going to just do what he says, no matter what he says. So interesting. So in the past we have the Empress card, which means that Kash Patel is also under the thumb of Russia. So what does that mean? That means that he's getting pressure from two fronts. He's getting DJT and he's getting VP. So, you know, that's one way that it's going. Now, on the top, it is the Ace of Wands. This is his new gig. He is going to do new stuff. I mean, he's never done this before, so this is a new project for him. But again, with the Knight of Wands, he's going to just do things kind of wildly and rashly, you know, not well thought out, not really making a good plan, but just sort of like spasmodically making choices. All right, and he gets stopped. What is in front of him is the Knight of Hazards. The Knight of Hazards is traditionally the Knight of Pentacles sitting on the horse with all 4 feet on the ground, so he is the knight that is not moving. And indeed, in this rendition of the card, you can see that the guy's car is just butt up against an actual stoplight that has a pole, so he can't drive any further. And he just looks like, oh, what do I do? Oh, what do I do? Watch for this expression on Kash Patel's face next time we see a picture of him in the headlines. Not happening for him. What are the hopes? Well, the hopes, I think, for both of them are that everything will go swimmingly and it'll be just great and we'll get everything done. But this can also be the fear position. And what I see here is that they're looking for the reward and the glory without doing any work. And the star is one of those cards that can affect a great many people. So if you think of, for instance, in I think it's in Lenormand or the Kipper, when you get a card like the star, it's the starry heavens, all the stars in the sky, just thousands and millions of stars, right? So they're hoping that their actions are going to be far-reaching, universally accepted, and wonderful, and that isn't exactly what's going to happen. I do see that people are going to think that they're very happy with themselves, because they'll be very quick to celebrate whatever the hell he does. And the things that he does is not going to be that impressive because he gets stopped. And then we have what's coming up here is this other victory card. And if you'll notice, it says the undead are victorious. Well, is that Kash Patel? I don't know. Does that look like him holding up this thing? He has dark hair. He has hair. It's crazy. So, I think when you're working with DJT, you have to pump up whatever you do to make it seem like the greatest thing in the world. Otherwise, he's not impressed. You also have to find a way to make your accomplishments seem like you have complimented him. So you have to compliment him along with telling him what you have done. It's a weird kind of catch-22 that he's in. And then the final outcome, which isn't great, is the Four of Cups. So it's going to be a kind of go nowhere with everything. And the Four of Cups is going to show that both of them are going to be unsatisfied with the outcome. Neither one of them are going to really feel like anything great was accomplished. Okay, so next I want to look at, I'll come back with the reading. Okay, so this just came out this morning in the AP. I mean, I had heard ripplings about this, that Musk had sent this email to everybody, but let me just read this quickly to you. Key U.S. agencies, including the FBI, State Department, and the Pentagon, have instructed their employees not to comply with cost-cutting chief Elon Musk's demand that federal workers explain what they accomplished last week or risk losing their jobs. So they're instructing their employees not to respond to the email. The article goes on. That resistance has intensified a pervasive sense of chaos and confusion while highlighting a potential power struggle among President Donald Trump's allies that is affecting federal employees across the country as a new work week is about to begin. Musk's team sent an email to hundreds of thousands of federal employees on Saturday, giving them roughly 48 hours to report 5 specific things they had accomplished last week. In a separate message on X, Musk said any employee who failed to respond by the deadline set in the email as 11:59 p.m., so noon Monday, Eastern Standard Time, would lose their job. Democrats and even some Republicans were critical of Musk's unusual directive, which came just hours after Trump encouraged him on social media to, quote, get more aggressive, unquote, in reducing the size of the government through his so-called Department of Government Efficiency, or DOGGE. The day before, Musk celebrated his new position by waving a giant chainsaw during an appearance at a conservative conference. That chainsaw thing, for me, that happened like 2 weeks ago. That is how much stuff is going on in the news. Something just a few days ago seems like it's almost a month ago because there's so much. There is literally a fire hose of weird shit coming at us. So, what I'm reading on is, what is Musk's fallout from this? What is going to be the fallout from this thing? And I guess Trump's fallout as well. So what we have is the Four of Swords. Interesting that in both readings we get the Four of Swords pretty prominently. One is the beginning card and one is the ending card. This is the beginning card, crossed by the Nine of Cups. And I would say that the Nine of Cups is his overconfidence, Trump and Musk's, their overconfidence at just, shouting out these directives and just expecting everybody to fall in line. They literally are saying, let them eat cake. We are coming to the let them eat cake moment, folks. But at the basis of the matter, the Four of Swords is that people are just not, people are just not responding to this. They just don't think that this is practical, viable, doable. And so, whoever remains as some sort of a head of these agencies, and I notice they don't name any names, are just saying, no, don't follow the directive. That's insane. And I think part of it is because lots of these employees, they have lawsuits that are ongoing pertaining to the attempted firing of all of them. So we'll see. Now the card at the base is the Ten of Cups. So the Trump-Musk alliance is just pleased as punch with their actions. They're just happy, happy, happy. Look at us. We did everything mean and bad, and we're just wonderful oligarchs. Now in the past we have the King of Pentacles. Now in this deck, I would say that the King of Pentacles is Elon. He has the most money. He has the most money of the players in this little charade, but I don't think he's always the richest man in the world. Maybe he is. I mean, maybe I've missed some of the articles or something, but he's in the past. Isn't that interesting? So his power with the money, is it waning? Well, yes, because the card that crowns this is the Hierophant. So somehow the bones of the government are exerting whatever force they feel they still have left. And in fact, what follows that is the Ace of Swords. And so that is telling me that the courts are going to have something to say about this little action. And I don't think it's going to be, oh yeah, go ahead. I think what the courts are going to say is, hold up, sunshine, you cannot do that. All right. So what's going on here? We have the Two of Wands. So I think, you know, Trump and Elon are just playing a game. And to them, it's like, well, let's just see. Let's just see what happens, and then we'll make our next move. So I don't think they really have a cogent plan. I think all of this is kind of going by the seat of their pants. And pretty soon their pants are going to be on fire. These guys do not know what's going on, really. They are just playing it by ear, hoping for the best. Now, Elon does think that he has a playbook, and it's the same playbook that he's done with other companies that he's taken over, like Twitter. You know, disrupt, get rid of all the loyal employees, bring it down to bare bones, try to make as much money as you can. But that's the playbook of the corporate raider. That's what corporate raiders do. They buy struggling companies. They make whatever money they can make off of the remaining, you know, property, inventory, whatever is there. After gutting most of the company by firing most of the employees, and then there's nobody left to bring in more intellectual property or even inventory, create more produce, you know, more stuff. So then they just have to sell the company for, you know, bare bones, for furniture or whatever. Now, what does the world see, or what do other people see? They see that things are changing. They're not just getting their way. They're not, people are becoming less afraid of what is going on with them, and they're standing up to them, and so things are changing. I mean, it's horrible for the people who actually get fired and feel like, you know, they're just victims in all this. I feel very bad for them. I feel very bad for them. Okay. What is crowning this is, you know, Page of Wands. So Elon and Trump, they just like to put things out on social media. They just like to be the ones calling the tune. And I'm afraid that the tune that they're calling is making them look like shit. It's just making them look terrible. And it's just showing them to be pretty horrible businessmen. Pretty horrible. I mean, not good businessmen at all. And here we have as a final outcome the world. So the world is going to have something to say about this. So I don't think that Elon's practices and his actions are going to be fulfilled. I think that, I just don't think they're going to be fulfilled. The card that fell out of the deck when I was shuffling is, whoop, I had it right side up, is the card for betrayal. So I think we're going to start to see some people coming forward talking about these bad practices, even to things that we have not heard about in the news. So I think the time for betrayal is coming. So I think things are really starting to downward spiral for Elon and Dumpy. So I think that's going to be pretty bad. All right, so next reading. Here we go. In this reading, I'm asking, are there plans underway to stop Trump, to take him out of office in some way? And I think the answer is yes, but I don't think that the plans are to make it happen this week. But here's what I have. So we have the Emperor crossed by the Eight of Pentacles. So the Emperor is going to be somebody who really knows how to make this happen. I'm not sure who the Emperor is. I don't know if this is Mark Rutte, Jack Smith. This is people in the DOJ that are surreptitiously working behind the scenes to, undermine Trump's administration. I don't know. I don't know who this is, but there is an Emperor figure who is at the center of this and is really trying to make things happen. And he is employing very, very talented and smart and hardworking people to bring this about. So he's employing the best people and he's trying to make it come about. However, they are working without financial support. They are working sort of without a net, as it were. So this may be people who have been let go from the government, who are out of office because the Trump administration came in. This could be people in, across the pond. This could be people in Europe. This could be the ICC or NATO. But in some way, there is an organization or a group of people who are working without financial support, who are really diligently trying to bring things to a close. They are covered by the judgment card. So they are going to bring some sort of charges or capture, or they're going to do something to stop this, but it isn't next week. It is not coming that soon, but it is coming. In the past, we have the Four of Pentacles. They're having to be very cautious with their resources. They don't want things to get out. They don't want to be found out. They don't want Trump and all of his ilk to get wind of it and do something to screw everything up. So it's a very delicate balance that they are trying to keep. And then we have the King of Wands. The King of Wands may be the more outward-facing person who's doing some of this. All right, so I paused the video for just a second because I had a hunch that the King of Wands might be Emmanuel Macron, and it is. He is a Sag. His sun is at 29 degrees Sagittarius, which is that's the anaretic degree. So he's very, very, very Sagittarian. And Sages love the truth. They are truth seekers. If they're not lawyers, they seek justice in the law adamantly more than most normal people do, or they are lawyers. They're also entertainers, so they kind of have the best of both worlds there. But I think Macron is really going to be at the heart of this, hence the reason he's doing all these meetings, and they are having another meeting, I believe, this week in Europe. What are they worried about? They're worried about that they'll be found out, that they'll be betrayed, and that the whole action will get the kibosh on it. But they're being very careful, and they're trying very, very hard to make sure this goes off without a hitch. And like I said, I'm not quoting any timing, but I am telling you that it's definitely not happening this week. All right. Okay. The next card we have is the Knight of Wands. And so this is going to be somebody who is doing the bidding, really, of the King of Wands. So this is going to be a swift action that we see of some kind. Now, keep in mind that, I've done videos before, and I've talked about the big announcement, right? Well, what I have refined that since New Year's, just to say that there will be a lot of small announcements about things that are coming to the forefront that reveal that the world knows what's going on and that the world is taking steps to contain this situation. So I think the Knight of Wands is just another piece of that. And then what he hopes is that they can make some sort of an agreement. Well, of course he hopes that. I mean, how well can he know Trump from as far away as France. Somewhat well, I mean, but still, if you're hoping for an agreement with this guy, yeah, guess again. However, Trump is going to try to make an agreement. And remember, I did do a video about some sort of an agreement that they tried to offer Trump, which he rejected, hence the inauguration went forward. And they may try again to make some sort of an agreement with him in order to take the things down peacefully and quietly and not have like a big, huge brouhaha over it. The final outcome card, again, for the third reading in a row, we have this card in a very sensitive position. The final outcome, Four of Swords. And that's why I'm saying nothing's going to happen this week. It is going to happen, it's just not going to happen this week. And what's going on with this card is more contemplation, more planning, more soul searching to see how are they going to bring this judgment about? How are they going to really make things happen that they need to have happen? So I don't really see that Macron is the emperor. I don't. I do see that he is the King of Wands. Now, for all I know, Zelensky's the emperor. Who knows? I mean, Zelensky's had a lot of good ideas over the last few years. Most of the time, if you want to know what the good thing is to do, listen to what Zelensky has just said, because he's very practical in his approach to these things. Okay. So is something going on in the background? Yes, things are still going on in the background. Okay, I think we have time for one more little short reading. Okay, I think you guys are going to like this reading. What I'm asking about is, what is Kamala Harris' involvement with this plan, this behind-the-scenes plan? And the first card that comes up is the Four of Cups. She wants nothing to do with it, and that's right. You know, she really shouldn't be a part of the big plan. And so she's just, when she's asked a direct question, she's going to answer, but she's not going to get super involved with what's going on with it. Instead, there's another female, the Queen of Wands, who is very, very involved with it. Now, you're all thinking Liz Cheney. I don't think it's Liz Cheney. I think it's probably somebody from one of the European countries that's very, very involved. Maybe that woman who was in the picture of the EU coalition meeting, the blonde woman. I don't know what country she's from. I can look that up. But it could be her. And I'm just saying that because she's blonde. I mean, I don't know what her sign is or anything like that. I don't even know her name right now. Okay, at the base of the matter, we have the High Priestess. So there's a ton of secretive, covert stuff at the basis of this whole scenario. It is secret, secret, secret. And Kamala is like, Siganits, I know nothing. You just let me know if you want me to put my hand on a Bible. That's all I want to know. In the past, we have the Nine of Cups, because in the past is the election and the lead up to the election where everybody thought, hey, great, everything's going to be fine. Kamala's going to win. And then she doesn't win. So that's no bueno. But at the top of it, we have, again, our King of Wands. And I'm going to say this is Macron. He is directing a lot of things. So I think he's a big player in all of this stuff. He's not just coordinating meetings and ordering food. He is a big person. And as I said in previous videos, he's a perfect person to be directing this, because he, too, has had his government threatened by authoritarian challenges. Now, in the future, what we have is the Ace of Pentacles, meaning that a new regime is going to come in. And mainly, this administration is so horrible, not just for the United States economy and all of its workers, federal workers, private workers, everybody, but it's also horrible for the world's economy. And so I think this Ace of Pentacles is saying, yeah, when this is over with, we can rejuvenate the economy. And it may take some time, and we may have people that don't trust us, but at least we can take steps to rejuvenate the economy. What are they worried about? They're worried about that when they do things, it may be too much too soon, it may be too bold, it may light things on fire. They don't want a big brouhaha. They don't want a big conflict, and neither does Kamala. And with this card, we have a legal action or a good word, à bon droit, to say this is what we want to have happen. I love that. Right on the ribbon there. À bon doit. Okay, and what are they hoping for? Well, I think a lot of people right now are saying they miss Biden, so I'm going to say here that people are very, very nostalgic for Biden, and will they have him come in as an interim president to get ready for, getting Kamala? Maybe. I mean, he was already sworn in once, so how hard could it be? Maybe a little handshake and a wink, and there he is. The final outcome card is the Fool, and I don't want you to think that this means that we're all fools for thinking this is going to happen. What I think this means is that we're talking about Kamala's involvement with this. This is a new journey for her. When they finally put her where she should be, it's a new journey. And I know it's a little premature to be talking about her taking her place at the WH, but I can't help myself. I don't want you guys to completely lose faith that I've given up on that, because I haven't given up on that. But there is so much that has to happen before this can happen. There's so much that has to happen. And that's what I think our friend Monsieur Macron is trying to accomplish. This is what I think that all of our other friends, especially those in high places who keep big secrets, I think they're all trying to help us get there. And I think in the end we will get there. We have two aces here, two new beginnings that we're going to have. Ace of Swords and the Ace of Pentacles. Very, very good combo for us in terms of government. So that's that. I love ending on that reading. I hope this video wasn't too long, and I will see you guys next time.